Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A person with authority to allot or deal out or apportion. Someone who markets merchandise. Electrical device that distributes voltage to the spark plugs of a gasoline engine in the order of the firing sequence. A company that markets merchandise. His company is a large distributor of software products. A person with authority to allot or deal out or apportion. Someone who markets merchandise. Electrical device that distributes voltage to the spark plugs of a gasoline engine in the order of the firing sequence. Electrical device that distributes voltage to the spark plugs of a gasoline engine in the order of the firing sequence. Official permission or approval. Authority for the program was renewed several times. An administrative unit of government. Freedom from doubt. Belief in yourself and your abilities. She spoke with authority. The power or right to give orders or make decisions. He has the authority to issue warrants. An authoritative written work. This book is the final authority on the life of Milton. An expert whose views are taken as definitive. He is an authority on corporate law. Usually plural, persons who exercise administrative control over others. Someone whose business is to supply a particular service or commodity. Someone whose business is to supply a particular service or commodity. Someone who provides the means for subsistence. A device that produces or is powered by electricity. A social or business visitor. The room was a mess because he hadn't expected company. Be a companion to somebody. The state of being with someone. He missed their company. A band of people associated temporarily in some activity. The company of cooks walked into the kitchen. Organization of performers and associated personnel, especially theatrical. The traveling company all stayed at the same hotel. Crew of a ship including the officers, the whole force or personnel of a ship. An institution created to conduct business. He started the company in his garage. A social gathering of guests or companions. The house was filled with company when I arrived. A unit of firefighters including their equipment. A hook and ladder company. Small military unit, usually 2 or 3 platoons. A merchant who sells goods at retail. A merchant who sells goods at retail. Someone who buys large quantities of goods and resells to merchants rather than to the ultimate customers. A dealer in equipment and supplies for ships. Someone who buys large quantities of goods and resells to merchants rather than to the ultimate customers. A person who sorts wool into different grades. A dealer in wool. A person who is in a position to give you special assistance. The performer in the middle of a minstrel line who engages the others in talk. Someone who buys large quantities of goods and resells to merchants rather than to the ultimate customers. A distributor who uses direct mail to sell merchandise. A chain of retail stores. The mechanism that ignites the fuel in an internal combustion engine. The mechanism that ignites the fuel in an internal combustion engine. The act of setting something on fire. The process of initiating combustion or catching fire. The cam inside the distributor that rotates to contact spark plug terminals in the correct order. The cap of the distributor that holds in place the wires from the distributor to the spark plugs. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. An electrical device characterized by its capacity to store an electric charge. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. The rotating armature of a motor or generator. Rotating mechanism consisting of an assembly of rotating airfoils. There are horizontal rotors on a helicopter or compressor rotors in a jet engine. The revolving bar of a distributor. Be oriented. The weather vane points north. Sail close to the wind. Repair the joints of bricks. Point a chimney. Any of 32 horizontal directions indicated on the card of a compass. He checked the point on his compass. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Her behavior points to a severe neurosis. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series, or especially in a process. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. The main point on the agenda was taken up first. An outstanding characteristic. His acting was one of the high points of the movie. A V shape. The cannibal's teeth were filed to sharp points. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. The dot at the left of a decimal fraction. Direct into a position for use. Point a gun. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He pointed to the empty parking space. The property of a shape that tapers to a sharp tip. The gun muzzle's direction. He held me up at the point of a gun. A V-shaped mark at one end of an arrow pointer. The point of the arrow was due north. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A point of information. A wall socket. An instant of time. At that point I had to leave. A very small circular shape. A row of points. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. Give a point to. Intend something, to move towards a certain goal. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. A brief version of the essential meaning of something. Get to the point. A distinguishing or individuating characteristic. He knows my bad points as well as my good points. A geometric element that has position but no extension. A point is defined by its coordinates. A linear unit used to measure the size of type, approximately 1/72 inch. A promontory extending out into a large body of water. They sailed south around the point. A style in speech or writing that arrests attention and has a penetrating or convincing quality or effect. Be positionable in a specified manner. The gun points with ease. Indicate the presence of game by standing and pointing with the muzzle. The dog pointed the dead duck. Mark, a psalm text, to indicate the points at which the music changes. Mark, Hebrew words, with diacritics. Mark with diacritics. Point the letter. 1% of the total principal of a loan. It is paid at the time the loan is made and is independent of the interest on the loan. Sharp end. He stuck the point of the knife into a tree. The object of an activity. What is the point of discussing it? The precise location of something, a spatially limited location. She walked to a point where she could survey the whole street. The unit of counting in scoring a game or contest. He scored 20 points in the first half. An electrical phenomenon whereby an electric charge is stored. An electrical device characterized by its capacity to store an electric charge. An electrical device characterized by its capacity to store an electric charge. Lens used to concentrate light on an object. An electrical device characterized by its capacity to store an electric charge. A hollow coil that condenses by abstracting heat. An apparatus that converts vapor into liquid.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.